What's going on, guys? We have an exceptional video for you today. We're going to be looking at the best advice from people on TikTok. A couple of them I've seen already. They're pretty entertaining, so I thought let's just run through. Let's do a live reaction of a handful of these. Let's see what they got. Do they have any good advice? Maybe there's some gems in here. I think most of the ones that make it to my feed on Twitter are the really terrible ones, but we're going to see what the advice is. And I think, honestly, above and beyond this just being pure entertainment, I also kind of think monitoring this type of sentiment is an indicator of where we are in the markets in general. When the randoms on TikTok start having like these revolutionary day trading insights and stuff, you kind of know we're somewhere closer to the top than we are to the bottom. So it is fun. Let's get into the videos.
In 3 sentences or less, if you're a millionaire, why sell a course?
Okay.
He looks like he's like 16. Simple answer here.
There was never like, okay. So the reason that I decided to sell a course was because I wanted to provide a course out there that provided so much value.
Oh my gosh.
Sentences.
He just like defaulted to some sort of robotic mode of like, I went to sell a course because like the obvious reason why you would sell a course if you're a millionaire is that you want to help people become millionaires, right? You made millions of dollars doing this thing, share it with other people. It's pretty easy answer.
What's a piece of information that you learned that feels illegal to know?
Oh, this is going to be good.
I've been waiting for this one since you guys want me to do it so bad. I'm going to show y'all how you can retire with only $25,000 in your bank account. So watch this.
Okay, this doesn't
I don't
exist.
have a lot of time, so I'm just going to give y'all the math, right? So if you have $25,000 in any brokerage bank account, right, you do margins. Now, the only thing is with margins is kind of like debt, but this
You do margins. Okay, so this seems like it's leading somewhere terrible because obviously margins high, super high risk.
doesn't need to be used as debt. Sometimes it can be used as collateral, meaning that if you want to sell a call option, and you can get into why you need collateral to sell a call option and get a margin account, when you get $25,000, your buying power increases to 4 times. So you really get the buying power of 100,000, meaning your collateral is 100,000. Now, when you short a stock, you can make safely 1% to 2% of your buying power, your collateral, each week. So you
Whoa, how are you shorting stocks and safely making 1% to 2%? Everyone would be doing this if this was a thing.
can actually make $1,000 per week shorting stocks. That is little to no risk.
That's not
Look it
true.
up, y'all.
Look it up.
What's a piece of information?
It's especially surprising since the stock market's been essentially going vertical for the past 6 months. So it doesn't seem like that definitely would not have worked over the past 6 months unless you're really being selective. But it's definitely not low risk. That seems super high risk to me.
So Pfizer released the ingredients to the COVID vaccine, and there's something that more people should know. So the ingredients start out pretty normal. You have the active mRNA, of course. You have the fats.
Of
And
course.
then there's the salts. But then there's 6 milligrams of sugar. Like, I'm keto.
I don't know if that's a joke. It seems like it's a joke because 6 milligrams is almost nothing.
One thing I'm really good at is making money, and I'm going to teach you how in 60 seconds or
Okay.
less. So pay attention. This is going to take no time, and there's potentially hundreds or thousands of dollars for you to make. If you don't already have the app, go get Robinhood. It's 100% free and safe to use. Link your bank account, put some money, whatever you have to spare in. If you don't have any money right now, that's cool. We're about to get another stimulus check.
If you don't have any money right now, it's cool. We're about to get a $600 stimulus check. Immediately take that $600 and plow it into Robinhood because you don't have any money right now to live. Just plow the $600 right into Robinhood.
Look up this stock, Plug Power. Code is PLUG. It's trading at $32 a share. What they do is they make hydrogen fuel cell batteries, so like renewable energy.
Okay, but what are we buying? What do we get for $32? Why would it go up? What's the valuation?
Also look up this one. A little bit more expensive. Oh shit, what the fuck? There we go. Look up this one. Innovative Industrial Properties. They build medical marijuana facilities and manage them. A little bit more expensive, but worth it in the long run. If you don't believe me, here's when I tried to convince my dumbass friends a month ago that these were going to be worth some money. Proofs right here. Pause if you want to.
I mean, come on. Like this is just what happened to Brookfield Renewable though. We got to look into this. Okay, I don't even see Brookfield Renewable. Brookfield Renewable Corporation, Brookfield Renewable Partners, neither of them were $71 on November 6th. So maybe that's just a typo or something? Yeah, I mean, the idea that you post random stock picks on your Facebook and you're like, this is so dumb, like my friends wouldn't listen to me. Of course not. Maybe these people weren't around, and I don't have actually like hands-on investing experience during the dot-com bubble. But like, I remember my family members all giving stock tips and they all basically went to zero. So like, to me, this is very reminiscent of when you don't want to be doing this. You don't want to be buying plug power.
Guys, I'm so wrecked right now in Filecoin. Oh my God. So obviously,
this looks like 50x
there's a lot
leverage.
of risk when you play with leverage. There's a lot of risk. So if you play with 50x, that means the
It's dumb.
gains
What
go
are you
up
doing?
by 50x. If you go up 1%, with futures, you go up 50%. So it's times 50. But the losses are also 50x. It's times 50. And right now, I'm wrecked. Filecoin, what are you doing?
And you can look at the change in the price. It's only like, what is that, like a 3% change? And he's down 219%. It's just, you're gambling. I mean, at this point, you're in a Las Vegas casino. It doesn't make sense. Even if you do stuff like this and you end up making money, it's short-term money and you're not actually improving as an investor, because what guarantees that you're going to be making money in the long term is your actual improvement as an investor, to where this becomes a repeatable skill where you can pick different stocks, different cryptos if you want to, and repeatedly, it's a process where you can repeatedly make money. Randomly getting lucky a few times, it doesn't really mean anything. Yeah, you make money, but that money is going to disappear pretty quickly.
Let me tell you a story. I need to be discreet about it, so let's call it Bitcoin. No, that's too obvious. Let's call it BTC. So one day, the rich people wanted to be more rich. So they made this thing up called a BTC, and they convinced the non-rich people that one day it'd be worth over $100,000. So the non-rich people bought into it and made the rich people
What's with
even
these
more
awkward
rich,
cuts?
even though it was completely made up. One day, the non-rich people discovered it was completely made up, so the price started going down. So what did the rich people do? They bought it back at a discount. But then they posted articles on Forbes and Yahoo saying it was going to be worth $500,000. So the non-rich bought into it again, and the cycle of manipulation starts all over again. BTC, the perfect path of manipulation for the rich to get richer and the non-rich to get non-richer. I'm Curtis Ray. Don't be a non-richer.
That's kind of a good ending, actually. Don't be a non-richer. A lot of people talk in this lingo where they think rich people are a collective consciousness and poor people are the same, and it's not really true. I mean, most like rich people make independent decisions. Some of them are invested in Bitcoin, some aren't. I don't know why he had to use like some sort of weird BitC thing. A really weird video, but it actually, towards the end of it, I was like, oh, this is kind of funny, like the way he's doing it. For some reason, I like when it's a woman talking about finances on TikTok better than a man.
Understand. It's kind of like shopping. If you're going to buy an option for a stock you think is going to go up, it's a call. So think of it like this. I call up Ulta Beauty and Tina picks up and I'm like, hey Tina, I want this makeup palette. And Tina's like, okay, but you know what's up. And you're like, Tina, rumor has it that this palette's about to go up in price. So if I come in tomorrow, can I still buy it at said price? Tina's like, yeah, that's fine. But we do charge a small fee for any items that we keep on hold. And you're like, that's fine, Tina. Charge me. Sure enough, the price does go up. So you run in the store, pick up your items for the said price that you told Tina yesterday, and then you sell it to someone on the way out because you didn't even really want that makeup palette. And you're just pretty freaking stoked because you called.
So when I see one like that, it's obvious that it took a really long time, many takes to make. I sort of feel like if you need a shopping analogy to understand options, you just shouldn't be using options. That's probably the summary, although the way she articulated it, like, it went pretty well. She had a good cohesive story going there. I kind of liked it.
I want everybody to get access to their motherfucking 401k and bet it all on the Patriots +5. This pick will not lose. We are not in this business to lose. Hit us up on IG after this pick cashes.
That sounds like a terrible plan. So you're taking a 10% hit on cashing out your 401k and then paying also a 10% premium just to bet on a line that is like pretty much perfect. The betting on the NFL, the margins are super thin. There's like a few people on earth that really beat the NFL. Seems like a terrible idea to me. And This was from December 10th. Patriots +5. Did it work out? December. It did not work out. They got destroyed by the Rams. Did not work out.
To my fellow members of Gen Z, I am tired of old people. This is how we're going to get rich and do whatever we want. It's common knowledge at this point that the richest people in the world don't have their money from a 9 to 5, they have investments. And we can't all afford to buy a house right now or invest in Fortune 500 stock. So here's what you got to do.
You can invest in stock pretty easily. I think at Robinhood, can't you do fractional shares? Like you can buy stock with $1.
Download an app that you can use to buy cryptocurrency.
Oh, here comes a scheme now.
I use the crypto app. It's literally called crypto.com, but it's an app. Anybody can do this. And then buy as much XRP or Ripple as you can afford every single paycheck. We have to invest in Ripple because
I don't understand these people that tell you what to do with your paycheck. Like, this is not legal, right? They're telling you you must go and buy as much as you can with your paycheck. That just seems like not a good thing to do on the internet.
Because for multiple reasons. One, they just made a deal with Apple to form something called Rapple. This is a huge deal because Apple runs the world pretty much at this point. Secondly, they have deals with major banks all throughout the world. They're the first cryptocurrency to undergo the process of being regulated by the government, meaning that when crypto is the main currency, it's going to be Ripple. And right now, it's only 25 cents a share. Invest, y'all.
Okay, it's not a share. And the question you have to ask yourself with these cryptocurrencies is, what's the actual value of the token? It's worth what someone's willing to pay for the most part. Some of the coins give you access to like file storage. They give you different, like some of the coins actually make sense why you'd want to own them. And certain coins are essentially just speculations. Like you want someone in the future to pay more than you paid for it. So I'm pretty against Ripple just because it's centralized and it's not really my vision of the future. It's why I own Bitcoin and not Ripple, just because it's 23 cents. You have to look at the market cap also. It's just a lot of bad information in this one.
DoorDash just had their IPO. We're supposed to open up at $102 a share, but because the banks got to make their money, opened up at $162. Trading began. They got as high as $195. It finished out the day at $185 per share. That is an over 80% return in one day. But an even bigger deal is their market cap, which went from $39 billion pre-IPO to over $58 billion.
That's crazy.
So here are a few companies that DoorDash is now worth more than. Best Buy, Walgreens, all the airline companies, all the insurance companies, eBay, HP, Dell. Just put that into perspective. DoorDash barely makes over $500 million in revenue, but is worth more than all of these other companies. Like, what? People out here telling me that it makes sense.
That's actually, I think, the first good take we had, because I sort of agree. I understand this idea of buying these tech companies that are really super innovative and they're pushing us into the future and they're just hard to replicate and they have big market share and there's economies of scale and the network effect and all that stuff going on. I get that. Like, you pay premiums for those things. But DoorDash, it's essentially just an app, and there's physical brick and mortar restaurants that list on the app, and then there's people that buy food on the app. There's not a lot of innovation going on there. It's actually a negative profit margin business. It seems pretty crazy. I agree. $58 billion. I wouldn't buy it. This one looks good. I love the stock tip in bright writing.
Can I get a Uber? Some of you know me from the Uber video back when I posted on August 6th. It was...
I love the quiet yelling. This is like the best way to do a TikTok video.
Picked up by TikTok investors, which even more people saw it. And now here we are on December 8th, and I'm back to talk about Uber. To let you know that when I talked about Uber on August 6th, it was at $33. Fast forward 4 months, and here we are at $53. I told you. Yeah, I hit the broadside of a barn with Uber, a transportation stock that reached all-time lows in the middle of a pandemic. Of course it's going to go up as we have vaccine news. These guys actually acquired Postmates in the middle of this thing, making their stock rise higher, and why I actually still like Uber, even though they just sold their self-driving project to a startup. I also like Lyft. Take a look and see if it's right for your portfolio.
I don't hate that guy. I actually think that's kind of good. He had like he reeled it in a little bit. He's obviously a pretty big Uber fanboy, but then he reeled off some stats that lets you know he kind of actually knows what's going on a little bit. I would agree in some sense. Like, I don't own Uber, but when you look at Uber relative to a lot of these other companies, like DoorDash is a perfect example, I would much rather own Uber. And what's the comparison in the market caps? I think Uber is like just a little bit higher. So Uber is 91 billion, so it's actually a good bit higher. DoorDash is currently at 50 billion. If I wouldn't buy either, but if I had to buy one, I would definitely be buying Uber. How I'm turning 300 into 300K.
Tomorrow is DoorDash's IPO, and a lot of you guys have been asking what I think about it. So it looks like it's going to open up between $90 to $95. I think it's a great investment for a long term. I'm not sure how it's going to be right away for options, but for a long term, IPOs are very interesting. All they can do is go up.
So that was not a tip. I mean, IPOs are interesting long term. All they can do is go up. That's actually the exact opposite of what the data indicates. Most of them go down. I didn't realize this. I kind of have heard of it because there's this subreddit. It's called Wall Street Bets, where a lot of people are doing options, but I didn't realize there's just all these like 20-year-old kids that are doing options trading. It seems pretty crazy to me. I mean, the stock market's just been going straight up, so I'd have to imagine a lot of them are doing pretty well, but it's hard for me to believe it's going to end well.
I strictly just want to talk about XRP and Stellar. So I want to tell you what I'm doing. I'm all in on Stellar, and I predict that by the end of 2021, it will reach $100. By the end of 2030, it will reach $1,000.
How?
And by the end of 2070, it will reach $50,000.
This is insane.
The dollar is not going away. There will be a currency for the global South, especially Latin America and Argentina.
There's no reasonable way you can come up with these predictions. Everyone just throws out such crazy, absurd, like future prices. And they always are the ones that are targeting these cryptos that are 18 cents. Like you can see at the start of this video, his entire watch list, his favorites, they're all under $1 because he thinks that those have the highest chance to go up a lot. When really you're buying the market cap. So Stellar's like a $4 billion market cap. To say that it's going to, what do you say, $100? So 100? So that's a 550x. So he thinks Stellar is going to be a $2 trillion market cap crypto. I mean, it's really just nonsense, wishful thinking, throwing numbers, pulling them out of a hat. Doesn't make a lot of sense. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the video. That was Investing TikTok. Tell me what you thought. Are there any good accounts I should follow? What was the best piece of advice in this entire video? I think it was probably the guy saying the DoorDash was crazy expensive. What was the worst, most dangerous piece of advice? I think it's probably the first guy saying that you should buy on margin. You should short stocks 4-to-1 leveraged and easily make $1,000 a week. Yeah, that's probably the worst piece of advice. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching.